Hello, friends. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new on here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, what's up, friends? How are you? My name is Yinka. I am that career babe. If you're new on this channel, I want to say a big thank you. If you're a welcoming, subscriber, I want to say a bigger thank you. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for watching me. Today, I'm gonna be talking about how to network properly. In my last video, I talked about why networking is important. Networking is a game changer. 1000% recommended. Today, I'm going to talk about how to effectively network to the point that you get your goal quicker and efficiently. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. If you haven't clicked on the notification icon so you could get videos as soon as they drop, please do so. It would help me a whole lot if you can share those videos with your friends and families and social media everywhere. Whoever needs a job, just share it to them. And I feel like some of the tips on here are applicable to all walks of life, including creatives and business owners. For instance, we're talking about networking today. Networking touches all aspects of life, all facets of life. So feel free to share and thank you for helping me. Let's get started. The first thing I'm going to talk about is setting clear goals. Whenever you want to start your networking journey, you have to think about what you're trying to do. Why do I feel like I need to start networking now? The reason why you're asking this is to know the kind of people to network it with. Let's say, for instance, you're trying to become a business owner in a particular niche or in an industry. It would be wise of you to look for business owners in that industry as well, instead of discussing with someone that has no, subject matter expertise on that industry, if that makes sense. So you have to think, am I networking? Am I trying to network because of career advancement? Am I trying to start a business? Am I trying to change careers? Am I trying to level up in my career? Am I trying to learn? Am I trying to collaborate? Am I just trying to build a network of people that would support me in all aspects of my professional journey? These are the things to think on or to reflect on when you're choosing to network. The next thing is start where you are. So oftentimes when people think of networking, we focus on meeting new people or people who would otherwise not really, talk to or get in contact with. But the thing with networking is it's all about intentionality and you can start from where you are. For instance, if you're a student, your peers are your foundation. Like those are the people you should start networking it with. Your previous manager, your previous team members, your previous neighbors, I don't know, whoever you've been interacting with that you think is in alignment with what you're trying to do, or is in alignment with your goals. Those are the people to start with because then those will also help you to be able to approach people you do not know confidently as well. The next thing I'm going to talk about is be genuine. So while in the last video, we talked about not coming in with a transactional mindset when you're networking. But I want to say this. So even while you're not coming with a transactional mindset, even though you set your goal, the reason why you want to network, you also want to be cognizant of coming authentically with your wholesome self, your wholesome, professional, disciplined, kind, empathetic self so that when you approach people, they can actually feel that energy from you and accept you and want to get to know you as well. Think of it kind of like building new relationships in a new city or in a new environment. You don't want to come in too strong or too nonchalant or too negative or whatever the case will be. You have to find the right attitude for the right environment, for the right people, the right stories for the right person. And that takes me to the next idea. The next idea is put on your communicative hat. So you're trying to network, you're trying to get to know people. How do you do this if you don't know how to talk? And how do you do that? You start thinking of the things that you've noticed that has helped you. So for each person, whether you're trying to network with someone, lower in career ladder than you or higher or an executive or a business owner completely out of your field, you have to think of what is the you know, mutual thing that will bring you together. So for every person, every human being, there's always something to say that could possibly draw you close to them. It could be like sharing a secret, sharing something vulnerable. It could be a joke. It could be sharing something personal, something that separates you from being just a number, just a person that you just met. For instance, I went to a work workshop. A work workshop sounds, weird, but I went to a workshop sponsored by my job, and I saw a VP talking about, innovation and things like that. And I was so impressed. I was so like inspired by the presentation. Next time I saw him, I definitely walked up to him. Matter of fact, I ran to him. It's not out of desperation. It was because I genuinely wanted to share how impactful that experience was for me. Impactful his presentation was for me. I was genuinely impressed because the presentation was very different from what I was used to. The things they talked about was for different like materials from what I was used to as well. And this is someone in technology. So I was super impressed, super inspired. And I wanted him to know that who knows what could be the relationship in the future, but I just wanted to meet him and wanted him to get that feedback from me. I also took the chance to introduce myself to him. And then we talked a little bit more about presentation, even talked about content creation. Then he shared books later, like an hour later, he shared some books with me on Slack to say, you should check this out on presentation. Maybe this could be helpful. Like, you didn't have to do that. But the thing is, when you approach people genuinely and you maybe give them a compliment or you share something about yourself, something that separates you out from the crowd, they're definitely going to remember you and they would want to build, they want to get closer to you. Do you know the best thing I would do next? It would be to go back to him and say, hey, I read those books and these are my feedbacks from those books. I enjoy them. I feel like I could do this and this. I also talked to him a little bit about how, I'm trying to content create, I'm already content creating, so these are the things I feel like would be helpful in helping me, build that relationship, which takes me to the next step, a strong introduction. Before you network, you have to think about how to create a strong introduction, whether it's in person, whether it's via email, cold calling, or via LinkedIn, or whatever the case may be, an online platform. You have to create a strong introduction that is precise, that shows your goals and shows why you're interested in getting to know that person. Hi, my name is Jane. I'm inspired by this. I would like to get to know you. Do you have 10 minutes of your time sometime this week to connect? Sometimes people connect with me on LinkedIn and they just say they want to connect. And if I have, half an hour to connect with them, but they don't say why they want to connect. Sometimes I'm able to tell if it's a student that they're just trying to connect to get a referrer to my company. But sometimes I'm unable to tell. And in that case, I simply say no. That's kind of how you have to think about who you're contacting. You have to think, am I wasting this person's time? You have to be cognizant of that. And you have to be precise on how you want to, or how and why you want to be in contact with them. Another example I would like to share is, let's say it's in person and you're in a meeting. You know how like you're in a meeting, you're early to a meeting and people are just quiet and awkward and no one is really trying to get to know one another. But you notice someone you've been trying to get to know. That's an opportunity for you to maybe introduce yourself before the meeting starts. Or you could also be intentional and wait for the meeting to end, listen to what they have to say in the meeting, and maybe at the end of the meeting say, hi, my name is this. What you talked about in that meeting, was a great perspective. I wasn't thinking in that line. Do you have 10 minutes to chew over that? Idea a little bit more sometime this week. They'll be like, oh, this person wants to learn from me. The thing is, most people are ready to teach. Most people are ready to help. So if you come as someone that wants to learn, as someone that wants to be poured into, and you're also presenting yourself as a person of value, very important, a person of value. That is a person that wants to listen, wants to learn, wants to give, wants to also, add to their lives, then they will definitely give you the chance. So the next thing I want to talk about is practice active listening. So when you're talking to people, it is very important to, while you're saying a lot, to help let them also take the lead on the conversation sometimes. So people like talking actually about their projects. People like talking about their families, about their, pets, about their whatever the case, whatever they enjoy, their hobbies. So it's important when you first meet people, especially at the first date, you need to let them know that you're listening to them. They say something, you got to ask questions about it. Or not necessarily questions, but at least comments to show that you're intelligently or intentionally listening to them. And that will take me to follow up and being consistent. So while you've gotten their attention from the first introduction, they've given you the 10 minutes you wanted, I would advise that right there and then say, I would like another 10 minutes with you next week. Don't even worry if it was awkward. If this is someone you really want to get to know, don't even worry about whether it was awkward or not. Say, I would like another 10 minutes next week to talk about, you know, what I learned from this conversation. They'll be like, okay, yeah, sure, just 10 minutes, that's fine. Trust me, the more you talk to a person, the less awkward it's gonna be. That's how it usually works. So don't even worry about whether it's awkward or not. Keep showing up respectful, keep showing up motivated, keep showing up interested in what they have to say. Be intentional. Take notes if you like. If you think that would be helpful, take notes. Another thing I want to say is, while we talked about starting with where you are, the same respect you will accord a CEO should be the same respect you should accord someone lesser than you. By lesser, I mean in career. So, say for instance, the way it's not even for instance. So, the way you would approach a CEO is definitely different from the way you would approach someone lower level or a peer, like yourself. But still give them the same respect, because you just never know who is going to be the Mark Zuckerberg of tomorrow, who is going to be inspired by the work or the respect you accorded them when you related to them in the past. And you're going to remember this. Also, when you're trying to pivot into a new career, I feel like this is for you, because the more people you know, the more people is going to help you get to where you need to be. And you could also take it another level by allocating one person per 30 days for the next year. So let's say you're graduating from school next year, you're trying to get a job as soon as you graduate, and this is the year before. I would start like trying to meet one person in the industry per month to connect with. Forget referrals, you can do referrals as you want, still being respectful, of course. But you should definitely intentionally start grooming people. The people that will be your supporters or your allies, that would relate to your professional journey, that would advise you, that will be able to collaborate with you, that you could consult with in the future, you could do great things together in the future. It's better to start building that group of people now. So one person per 30 days, one person per 30 days. At the end of the year, you would have 12 new people that you would otherwise not connect with, or 12 new intentional friendships that also would help you in your professional advancement. So I hope all of this is helpful. I think the last thing I want to talk about is always be grateful. So every interaction, every conversation, every meeting, every note, every cold calling, always be grateful for the time, because people are busy. But if someone could spare the time or spare, any words, any encouragement to you, whatever the case may be, always show that you are grateful so that they will do more. Thank you again for joining me. I appreciate you so, so much. If you haven't subscribed again, please subscribe and hit the notification icon. Share with someone that needs this. I think this will be helpful and be a blessing to a lot of people. Well, have a good week. Take care. Bye.